Alright, I'm gonna ask one more time. Do any of you know anything about zero? They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others would say. Finally, Santa spoke. Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face, though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kinda gas mask. What the hell? Come on, guys, give me something. You know, like, surprise or something. Instead, it was Santa who looked surprised. There was a moment of silence, and then everyone spoke at once. Yeah, I saw him too. Me too. He was wearing a gas mask. Hadabudebu und so weiter. As stories were sorted out, the truth became clear. All of their stories were the same. They had been abducted at home at midnight. The person claiming to be Zero had worn a mask. There had been white smoke, and then each person had passed out. When they awoke, they had found themselves on D-Deck in a room with a 3-level bunk bed. Only 7 stories seemed to lack the detail of the others. Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest yours. That was all he had said. It had occurred to Jumpy at the time that it sounded somewhat strange, but he didn't press the issue. He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger. That was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover. For some reason, they had been abducted from the same room and woken up in the same room. Jumpy looked at them thoughtfully. So, what's the deal with the two of you, anyway? It was Clover that answered. Clearly, she felt she had nothing to hide.
We're siblings.
Siblings?
Yes? Snake is my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little his little sister. I'm sorry. I can't speak. That really so hard to understand?
Jumpy was taken aback. The others seemed just as surprised. She is correct, of course. He laid his hand on Clover's shoulder. Are you surprised? Well, yeah, but... Why? There are other people here with connections too, to one another. Those two, for instance. Snake pointed at Jumpy and June.
Oh, you mean between Jumpy and me?
Ah yes, you did say you were childhood friends, didn't you?
You went to school together? Yeah.
June glanced at Jumpy, uncomfortable with the sudden attention. Jumpy felt somewhat nervous as well, and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible. Hey, you think maybe we could figure out who Zero is this way? Yeah, you're right. You connect the dots between the victims, and that leads you to the perp. Textbook stuff.
Jumpy, June, does any of this ring a bell?
Ring a bell?
Ring a bell?
They looked at one another, and like it was staged, they both tilted their neck at the same time.
Well, perhaps you went to school with the son of a multi-millionaire. A millionaire?
Son?
Well, someone bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich.
Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Zero is most likely simply the representative of a larger group. What sort of organization? It could be a number of things, an army, perhaps, or a research group. Perhaps this is all some sort of psychological experiment. If it is, then it's a pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on, a guy's dead. The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again. I don't know who the hell this Zero asshole is, but I know for sure he's gotta be pretty fucked up in the head to do all this. If this was all one guy, then he's got some serious issues. Even with the specter of death hanging over them, their discussions continued for some time. In the end, however, they learned nothing. By the time they finished, 1.5 of their 9 hours were gone. Jetzt musste ich erstmal kurz überlegen. 1.5, bla bla bla. Ja, 1,5 Stunden. All they had to show for it was impatience. Man, look, we only got 7.5 hours left, okay? You're really sure you want to just sit around? No one was willing to argue this time. Very well then. There's only one way for us to proceed. Sure, not gonna be fun running around knowing we gotta jump when Zero says jump.
Well, it's stupid to just sit around here doing nothing. Thanks to Snake's card, at least we have some idea of how this all works.
Correct. And so long as we follow the rules, we will most likely be alright.
But
what?
who's going to go in which door?
June looked toward the numbered doors. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't have any more than 5 people in one door. All 8 of us can't go in the same door. Then it would seem we will have to split up.
Wait.
Lotus looked terrified.
I'm telling you now, there's no way in hell that I'm going into door 5.
Come now, don't be selfish.
Call me whatever the hell you want, I'm not going in there. If I'm going to have to walk through all that blood, then I'd rather stay here.
And we were doing so well. Ace shook his head sadly. Sorry, but I ain't going in there either. Someone else can go into door 5. Oh Santa, not you too. Hey man, I just bought these shoes. If you think I'm getting some creepy dude's blood all over them, you got another thing coming. Ist irgendwie schwierig, Santas Slang so ein bisschen so wiederzugeben. Eigentlich müsste er... Naja, gut, egal. That was the last straw.
What the hell, man? Weren't you the one who kept saying we should get going?
Yeah? So? Doesn't mean I wanted to go into door 5. Oh god. There was an awkward silence. Finally, 7 spoke. Fine. I'll go into door 5. I can't go in there alone though. Anyone else willing to come with me? There was another long silence. This time, Snake was the one to break it. I'll go.
What?
Don't worry, you'll be fine. We may part now, but I'm certain we'll meet again later.
How do you know that?
Because I do.
That's not an answer. If you're going, I'm going too. I'm going into door 5.
What am I going to do with you? There's nothing you have to do. Ace stepped forward. If I join you, the problem is solved, correct? 7 is 7 and Snake is 2. And if you add Clover's 4 and my 1, the digital root will be 5. 14 und 5, ja.
Oh, it works perfectly. The 4 of us can go into door 5.
Wait, what about the other 4? What's their digital root gonna be? Jumpy did a quick mental calculation. Lotus, Santa, June and Jumpy remained. Their bracelet numbers were 8, 3, 6 and 5. 8, 3, 6, 5. What would their digital root be? 11, 17, 22, 2 plus 2, das wäre 4. Tatsächlich. Das würde passen. Bin ich jetzt dumm? Doch, wäre 4, oder? Doch, natürlich, ist richtig. Ja. He repeated what he'd determined. It's 4. Add up our 4 bracelet numbers and the digital root is 4.
Then we can go into door 4.
Yeah. That worked out well. Jumpy ran over the team assignments in his head one more time. 4 people would go into door 5. 7, Snake, Clover and Ace. 4 people would go into door 4. Lotus, Santa, June and Jumpy. Jumpy had to ask himself if the teams were what he really wanted. Beyond door 5 was what remained of the 9th man. He never wanted to see that thing again, but something in him said it would be unwise not to examine the corpse even a little closer. Of course, if he went through door 5, he wouldn't be going with Lotus and Santa. True, it would be possible for him to bring June with him through door 5, but that would mean she would have to see the horrific carnage that waited there. Jumpy didn't want that. Jumpy was torn. Should he stay silent and go through door 5? Or should he stop them all and insist on door 5? Und dann 4, 5, ich glaube, ich habe es durcheinander gebracht. Das tut mir leid, egal. Also, entweder er kann in Tür Nummer 4 gehen oder in Tür Nummer 5. So. As he turned his options over and over in his mind, Ace spoke up. Alright then. It seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go? He began to walk toward door 5. Clover and Snake followed, with 7 a short distance behind. Jumpy... Which door do you want to go through? So, und das ist jetzt tatsächlich, ich glaube, die erste so richtig entscheidende Entscheidung, die man in diesem Spiel treffen kann. Man kann sich jetzt eben tatsächlich aussuchen, durch welche Tür man gehen kann. Es würde zwar eine kleine Diskussion geben, logischerweise, wenn man jetzt durch Tür 5 unbedingt gehen will, aber klar, man kann auch durch Tür Nummer 5 gehen. Da wiederum erklärt sich das auch mit den verschiedenen Enden vielleicht so ein ganz klein bisschen besser für euch. Ich hatte es ja am Anfang des Let's Plays gesagt, das Spiel hat insgesamt 6 verschiedene Enden, klar. Es ist nicht so, dass... Das Spiel heißt zwar 9 Doors, aber wir werden nicht durch alle 9 Türen gehen können, jedenfalls nicht in einem Spieldurchlauf. Stattdessen wird es immer wieder Situationen geben, in denen wir uns entscheiden müssen, wie jetzt eben in dem Fall. Entweder wir gehen durch Tür Nummer 4 oder Tür Nummer 5. Das müssen wir jetzt eben abwägen und wir können uns das eben aussuchen. Und das ist so eine Entscheidung, die will wohl überlegt sein. Und weil ich mir das im Vorfeld nicht genau überlegt habe, werde ich da jetzt nochmal eine Nacht drüber schlafen oder so und mir das nochmal genau überlegen, was ich jetzt tatsächlich machen will. Weil je nachdem, durch welche Tür ich gehe, ist es natürlich für mich auch einfacher oder beziehungsweise schwieriger, dieses oder jenes Ende irgendwie zu erreichen. Darüber braucht ihr euch jetzt an der Stelle aber nicht wirklich einen Kopf machen. Nehmt dann im nächsten Video einfach mal, oder wie machen wir es? Es wäre jetzt im Endeffekt doof, sage ich mal, wenn ich die Entscheidung euch überlassen würde. Sagen wir es einfach mal so. Weil zum einen ja, ist da die Gefahr relativ groß, dass wir da unter Umständen dann eben ein Ende erreichen, wo ich nicht unbedingt hin will. Wobei das jetzt, ich weiß nicht genau, ob das da... Nee, völlig unerheblich ist es hier an der Stelle nicht. Aber es kann jedenfalls sein. Und das... Ich will mir jetzt meinen Lösungsweg, den ich mir selber so ein bisschen zurechtgelegt habe, nicht unbedingt verbauen. Das zum einen. Und zum anderen könnte ich dann nicht so viel im Voraus produzieren und dann müsstet ihr wieder ein paar Tage warten, bis dann tatsächlich eine Entscheidung ansteht. Deswegen tut es mir an der Stelle leid, dass dieses Let's Play nicht so interaktiv wird, wie es vielleicht wünschenswert wäre, aber nehmt es an der Stelle einfach so hin. In der Hoffnung, dadurch euch ein besser gestaltetes, auch von der Story her besser gestaltetes Let's Play bieten zu können. So, okay. Lange Rede, kurzer Sinn. Ich mache mir Gedanken. Die Aufnahme endet hier. Ich hoffe, es hat euch wieder so einigermaßen gefallen. Wir haben heute viel erlebt. An der Stelle übrigens nochmal die Frage, vielleicht kam das ja auch schon bei den vergangenen Videos irgendwann mal als Kommentar oder so, soll ich öfter mal dazwischen labern tatsächlich in Deutsch und ein paar Dinge dann nochmal so ein bisschen rekapitulieren? Oder ist das so für euch, wie ich es momentan mache, eigentlich in Ordnung? Weil die meiste Zeit lese ich es dann ja tatsächlich dann doch eher nur vor, die englischen Texte. Würde mich schon interessieren, ob ihr öfter noch meine Gedanken hören wollt oder ob ihr das tatsächlich lieber so in Hörbuchform haben wollt, sodass ich eben die meiste Zeit dann doch eher meine Klappe halte und dann mich eher auf die englischen Texte konzentriere und auch tatsächlich versuche, sie ab und zu mal ganz gut vorzulesen. So, gut, viele Fragen zum Schluss, viele Sachen zum Schluss, egal. Ich sage an der Stelle dann jetzt einfach mal Tschö mit Ö, freue mich, wenn ihr das nächste Mal wieder mit dabei seid und hoffentlich bis ganz, ganz bald.